In today's video, I'm going to bring you through one of the most important components when it comes to growing and scaling your companies. What is that? It's hiring. This video is probably not going to get a lot of views, but I do it because it's important. I'm going to talk about how brands are able to scale past $100,000 days with A players, okay? Generating $100,000, $200,000 in a single day. Of course, to actually get these results, you need a team that is able to sustain scale and run an operation. So what I'm going to do in this video is actually bring you through my hiring system, where I find people, do real life demos with you where I go in the platform, show you how to find people so that you can build your own team. And then I'm also going to talk about some criterias and pretty much how we actually put a team together. Okay, so stick with me because although this is maybe not a super popular video, it is one of the most important ones. So first of all, when I hire with my agencies, and if you are a new viewer, and you don't know me, I'm Brando. I work with 7 and 8 figure businesses. I've hired over 100 people in the last 6 to 7 years. And right now I run a team of 16, 17 people within my team. So I have somewhat of an experience hiring people. The first things that I look for is references, track record, and their experience. If they're not able to give me a reference, if they don't have a track record, and if they don't have experience, I don't even look at them in the first place. Okay, I'm talking about like hiring a video editor, a creative strategist, a head of performance, a graphic designer, a media buyer. Anybody who you're looking to hire should at least have these. Okay, eventually you get to a point where all of your team members are absolutely A players. Okay, what does that mean? If you remove yourself, they're able to grow the business even without you. So once I understand that they have these 3 things, and I'm going to show you exactly how I find some great people, and you can do this as soon as after watching this video. I basically onboard them into a 2-week trial. I make sure that they're a fit culturally, systematically with how we run our operations, because maybe they don't have full synergy in how we work, which could be an option. If the 2 weeks go well, we fully onboard them as not a client, but as a team member, and we retain them. We have an average retention of like 2.5, 3 years, and we started the company 5 years ago. So that's pretty darn good. I know people that get hired and fired after, like, not because they did a bad job, but they leave the company because things are not organized and there isn't a good communication in that. Okay, so let me actually, that is another topic for another video. Let me actually bring you through what our team structure looks like. Okay, so you have an understanding of what people get when they work with us, and therefore what they should also build if they decide to do it in-house. And then I'm going to bring you through some strategies once again over here, and talk about some LinkedIn, Upwork strategies that are super detrimental to actually finding key roles. But I'm going to save this until the end, so stick until the end if you want to see this. Okay, I have some golden nuggets here that nobody really does. Not a lot of people are talking about this LinkedIn strategy, so that's very cool. So before we get there, I want to give you an idea of how we structure the team. This is the exact same team that our clients get access to when they decide to work with us, from agency to brand. Within our collaborations, they get access to a head of performance, which is basically the person. The pod director is me, by the way. I just make sure that the ship doesn't sink, right? Then there's a head of performance. I guess that is his role. Make sure the ship is sustained and it doesn't sink, right? I'm the pod director that just looks on the top and makes sure that I actually do the hiring. I bring people on board. I just do that as my role. And so they are basically the boss. Call them whatever you want. They look over the media buyers, the creative strategist, and the UGC manager. When clients work with us, they get 2 creative strategists, 1 media buyer, UGC manager, 3 editors. It's actually 2 here, but we get 3 editors and then 1 graphic designer. Now, keep in mind, when you have your own e-commerce brand, you don't need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 12 people on staff. You absolutely don't. Okay, what I would recommend if you are a brand, and I've spoken to a lot of brands doing 7-figure months, and they have 1 creative strategist along with 1 or 2 video editors and 1 graphic designer. That's it. Like, you can have run a team of 3 or 4 people max and run a 7-figure a month operation. Okay, because creative is one of the most important things. And I'm assuming, of course, that you maybe built the website yourself, and maybe somebody else is doing CRO, but I'm just talking about the creative side. So this is a team pod for paid ads, just to clarify. Okay, this is a team structure that will allow you to have things work. Okay, now before we get into the strategy of how to find these people, I do also want to talk about one really, really important thing, which is how to make these people work together, because this is the most detrimental thing when it comes to creative and actually finding the hit rate. If you want to go from a 1, 2, or 3% hit rate to a 13% hit rate, and if you don't know what a hit rate is basically out of 100 ads, how many ads are actually going to be medium to large size winners that are going to make a difference on your ad account, right? Or at least support the ad account. We want to find consistent winners and ads that can actually actually get us to a next level. That is something that gets spend and ROAS, right? That is something that is a winner on your ad account. How do we do that? Of course we do. I have a whole rant on this, on how we do a bunch of research. We break down ads, we break down viral concepts. We basically build a research and customer research and creative research report that we can get inspiration from. But the next thing, and I would say the golden nugget here, is making sure that the team works together. So once you build a team like this, whether it's 3 or 4 people or 2 people, whatever it is, you need to be able to communicate with this team. This is so important. So internally at my company, we actually host 2 calls per week, and on these 2 calls per week, we go over. The first call is a weekly creative meeting. Okay, the weekly creative meeting is talking about how can we make our clients more money. In your case, how can we make our brand more money and more profitable with more scale? So it's a team between the creative strategist and the head of performance. Could be the media buyer, could be yourself, I don't care. The creative strategists need to connect with the media buyer to talk about what's working in the ad account. They need to connect with the leader of the company. In this case, it would be the head of performance. In maybe your case, it would be yourself, the CMO of the company, call it whatever you want, the money generator, so that the 2 minds can connect together, the creative mind and the media buying side, okay? Because there needs to be synergy. The creative strategist should not be able to go after a strategy if they don't understand what's working on the ad account, right? In fact, all of our creative strategists have view access to all of our clients' ad accounts, because on a day-to-day basis, they actually look on the ad accounts. But we also host this meeting. So what do? You review ads, you review failed ads, winning ads, you study what creatives are scaling on the ad account, you come up with data-backed A/B tests and iterations, and you discuss new avatars, angles, and personas. You do what you have to do. The next meeting is really also very important, and it's a weekly meeting with the editors. So this time, the creative strategist doesn't have to be, the head of performance, the CMO, call it whatever you want, doesn't have to be involved, but it's a meeting that the creative strategists have with the editors. Because how does this work? The creative strategists, as you can see over here, they do the research, they create the brief, the creative brief. What is a creative brief? It's what makes the ad, right? The script, the voiceover, the inspiration of the video, the B-roll that needs to be used, all these things will be put into a brief and explained to editors. If there's not good synergy between creative strategists and editors and graphic designers, you pretty much have a sinking ship, right? You have I always say a Ferrari with a Fiat engine, right? A Ferrari is like a cool team, looks good on the outside, but on the inside, they're not able to work together. So that's why we host team meetings with the creative strategist and the video editors, or just creative team. What do we do in this meetings? We go over things that can be improved. For example, if one of our video editors just did a video, let's just say this one that failed, and in this video, the B-roll, for example, this text that you're seeing over here doesn't resonate with the visual, there's no congruency in the visual, then there's of course a visual problem. So that's something maybe we have to bring up. Or if we're using like scripts on not Descript, like 11 Labs that are not really realistic, like AI voiceovers, maybe we need to change those. All these things. And also, super important, the video editors need to communicate with the strategist if there's problems with tasks, if they don't understand something, right? So there needs to be a constant communication. As soon as this loop is done with the communication, that's when you start seeing results go down, because the team is not working well together, okay? So now that we got this out of the way, I want to go over some cool strategies and actually how to find A players. I recently hired a video editor right now, super excited, works with brands doing $4 to $5+ million per month, and she has amazing videos, and I found this person on Upwork, but there's some crazy strategies to leverage on LinkedIn as well. I'm going to go over some cool strategies in just a second. The first thing that I suggest to do, me personally, I like to hire in Europe, on the eastern side of the world. Okay, so let's call it Asia, and South America. Okay, I love to hire with these just because I'm not sure culturally there's a perfect fit. Culture wise, we have similar minds, we think alike. I don't know, but we're an international team. A lot of my team members are in Europe and South America, but we also have other people. But long story short, I like to hire in these countries because they're smart, they speak perfect English, and they're a bit on the cheaper side, although I have to be honest, I do, treat my team well. But you can find great people. So one thing that I do find, for example, if you want to do creative strategist, you type over here. I like to filter by, something that you can afford. I'm not sure what your budget is, but let's just say $50 an hour, between let's just say $20 to $50 an hour is what we want to go after, or I don't know, 10, so probably $10 to $50 per hour, depending on if we're hiring a creative strategist, most likely it's going to have to be more like this, if we have to be honest. So I'm just going to leave it at this. So what we want to do here is also, we can filter by region. So I'm going to do just South America. I'm also going to do Europe. Okay, and then I'm also going to do, let's just do these for the sake of the example. And then the first research that I do is I filter by top rated and these two over here, just so I can have like a very good database of people that I can go after. Okay, next thing that I can do, if I don't find who I want to find, I'm just going to take these off, because I've seen many cases where people don't have these badges, but they're great people. Maybe they're new on Upwork, right? So this is really important. One thing that I look at is going back to these three things. I want to have, right, as a reminder. Oh my God, I switched it. But basically, I hope you remember. I was talking about the three things you need: references, track record, and experience. If I don't see these things on the actual, on their profile, even at first sight, I'm not really interested, okay? First of all, I want to see the reviews. I tend to look for people that have at least 10 reviews. 3 reviews could be faking it. I don't know, but at least 10 reviews. I want to take a look at what they're doing with their portfolio. If I feel like they're a good fit, I reach out to them professionally and say, hey, I'm looking to hire. This is us. Very brief, 1 to 2 sentences, and you could also give them like a job application. One other thing that you can do with Upwork is that you can actually post a job. And this is really, really good. Long term, I'm going to do it with you right now. Creative strategist, right? Creative direction, marketing strategy. And then it's basically free. And I've done and if you don't want to promote it, you can promote it. But if you don't want to promote it, you can also use it. I'm not going to do this right now because it's pretty self-explanatory. So let me just go back. But once you create the actual post, right, then you can invite people to the post. You can invite up to 30 people if it's free. So let's just say I want to work with this guy. I can invite him to the job because I already created the job. And, I have like a bunch of listings. For some reason, this profile gives me less, but I do have more. And I click on creative strategist, and then I send the invitation. Then he will have the opportunity to send me a proposal or something, a pitch, so that I can review it. This is one way that I love. A lot of people think that Upwork is just for, you can't really find great people. I found like a good percentage of my team members on Upwork, so I really recommend it. This is the strategy that I look for. This is next level shit, okay, if I have to be honest. Now, I'm not going to say that poaching people from other companies is the first choice of what you should do, but hey, it's business and everybody does this. And I'm not saying that you have to verbally harass people saying, hey, you should come work for me. But one strategy that I look for, and that every company does, is that the best talent is already hired. You understand that, right? It makes sense. People that look for jobs are typically people that are not typically. They're people that are not hired in a full-time position. And most likely, not every time, but in some cases, the people that are hired are the people that are great, if we have to be honest, right? They're just hired and they don't need a job because they have one. And so one thing that I highly recommend to do is that you can go, and let's just say that we go on Austria here on our research tool, and we love some brands. Let's just say brands that we're following, okay? Let's just say that we like a company called, I don't know, let's just say Nude, or let's just see if I can find another company, Javi Coffee, whatever. Let's just say that Javi Coffee, they're running 900 ads, and they're maybe also a direct competitor. I don't know. You can go in here, enter their Javi Coffee. You basically have to go here, Javi, right, Coffee, right, and then you can just enter. And then the important thing is that you go and research for the companies. Not sure why this is not showing up. JV Coffee, it should show up. I had it right in front of you. Boom. I don't know why this is not working, honestly. It worked just a second ago. Here it is. You find the company profile, you go under people. As you can see, there's 84 associated members. And guess what you can do? You can find people. Now, keep in mind, I've done this many, many times. Let's just take a look before moving forward on the next step here. But let's just take a look at some things. You see this senior video editor, winning e-commerce. This guy could be a freaking A player for sure, right? You see, look, this guy, all technical. And you can take a look at his portfolio. He has my profile, so he's probably my portfolio, so he's probably a contractor. And this guy, let's take a look, is a contract video editor for 1 year and 2 months at Javi Coffee. What does this mean? It probably means that he can either have more jobs, which could be with you, or that he's open. He's not saying full-time position, I'm all dedicated with them. He's probably open for work. So I'll give you an example. I was hiring a video editor. I reached out to this guy, and I was like, hey, Nicholas, I'm hiring for my e-commerce agency. Are you open for video editing work? Okay. And he said, hey, thanks a lot for reaching out. At the moment, I'm focused on full-time position at Hike, whatever, so I'm not taking new projects, but I'm glad you stay connected for the future opportunities. Okay, so guess what? They're going to be open. Maybe if they're not ready today, they're maybe ready in 3 months. You never know. So you get a pipeline of these good A players. You can also get an understanding of what their cost would be, so you can consider them. Worst case, they say I'm not interested, but you will notice that as you start getting through people, maybe like 10, 20, 30, 40% will say, hey, you know what, I'm actually interested, or you know what, I'm interested because I'm not happy with the way this other company is treating me. A lot of companies don't treat their employees well. Remember that. There's a lot. So maybe you can offer a better environment for them. So this is an example of maybe a more of a tough one, full-time, Javi video editor, director of editing, right? So, video editing manager. So these people are maybe a bit harder, right? But you can still try if you want to go up, shoot for the stars and hire like a great person. But this guy knows what he's doing. They're doing like close to 9 figures a year, if not 9 figures. So they absolutely know what they're doing. So this is a great way. I'm not telling you once again that you have to like be aggressive. Like you can just find these people like casually. I'm just telling you how to find people that are good, right? I'm not saying that you have to steal them and harass them and say, hey, I know that you work for Javi or whatever. Like, come work for me. It has to be very natural, organic introduction. But this is one you don't even have to mention that you found them there. You can just find it on your own with the strategy. You reach out to them with a simple, organic, low-key message and to ask them if there's an opportunity to work together. I can assure you, this is by far one of the best ways to find people. This is what every best company does, right? They poach not clients. They also poach clients, but they poach employees, because employees and team members is what makes or breaks a business. Okay, that is it for this video. If you are interested in getting access to this team that has experience growing companies to multiple eight figures, that would be us. You can book in a call. We can explore the opportunity of working together. If you want to do it yourself and build this team, it is hard, but it's definitely an advantage. And I always recommend, by the way, whether you work with an agency or not, you should always build at least a small team of 1, 2, or 3 people that have your back, can maybe scale iterations or can do something that can support the agency or that can just support your own business, right? So that you don't rely on just one person or one agency. So that is it. You can book in a call if you're interested. That is it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye.